Good afternoon, Guadalupanos, and this is the weekly update of Friday, May 29th. After 5 years of having lived at St. Michael up on the hill in West St. Paul, I've decided to move into the rectory of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Many of us didn't even know that there was a rectory at Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's 397 Roby Street. During the month of June and July, after making a couple renovations, I'll be moving in with Father Kevin until he leaves sometime in July or August to go to New York City for 3 years. Also, this summer, I will have the pleasure of welcoming a seminarian of the Archdiocese, Christopher Yanta, who comes to us from Maple Lake. Will actually be doing a Spanish immersion here at Our Lady of Guadalupe. If by chance you see him, please greet Christopher. I would like to know from you what we should do about our fall festival. I say fall because last year we moved it from June to September, one, to bring it closer to the feast of, or the celebration of Mexican independence, and two, to lighten up our summer. Many festivals are already being canceled now. The state fair has already been canceled, and I'd like to hear from you what you think. Should we cancel the festival in September around the Mexican independence, or should we try to do something a little bit smaller? My email is at the bottom of this video, and I'd love to hear from you. The parish, the shrine, has hired Bob Hindle to lead music. Bob has served and still serves at Sacred Heart over on the east side, and has agreed to help us planning our music and playing the organ at the 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Spanish masses. Bob is an excellent musician, and I'm delighted to have him join us already this coming Sunday for Pentecost. It's been a pleasure to see many of you at the Mass this past week, either in the morning or in the evening. And I look forward to seeing many of you this coming Sunday for a limited return to public Mass. This coming Saturday or Sunday, we'll have a new list for you to sign up for next week's Masses. We added a morning Mass this past week, in addition to our evening Mass, to make it more available, the Mass, to you. This coming week, we'll have fewer options, but stay tuned if you wish to attend. Also, the Archdiocese has published a new set of directives for phase 2 of coming back to public liturgy, and that link is at the bottom of this video. If you have any concerns or questions about the return to public Mass, you can reference these directives, because this is what the parish of Our Lady of Guadalupe, as well as all parishes throughout the Archdiocese, will be following. We will continue to celebrate the Mass on Sunday in a live stream. For the most part of the pandemic, we've been celebrating weekly Mass and streaming that. We've also been doing Holy Communions, First Holy Communions for our kids. But I've decided to suspend the streaming of the weekly Mass and just to focus our energies on the Sunday Mass. So if you decide not to come to Sunday Mass, which is totally your prerogative, the Archbishop has lifted the obligation to come to Sunday Mass and has encouraged those above the age of 65 to wait until the pandemic clears before coming back to the public Mass. Know that if you are above 65 and you still wish to come, you're welcome. I am not going to stop you. But if you do not come, know that we'll be streaming the Mass as normal on this very same YouTube channel. Thank you, Father Kevin. Sometimes people ask me, Father, why didn't you mention the name of the person at the end of Mass or in the petitions, the person for whom we offered the Mass? It's a question that I've got from the very beginning of my priesthood. When we come to Mass, we often think that the name of the person ought to be mentioned, otherwise that Mass is not valid. Just a quick piece of catechesis. The petitions at the Mass came after the Second Vatican Council. The petitions at the Mass are an option, meaning that the priest may choose to do them and he may not choose to do them. The Our Father is not an option. The priest must always pray the Our Father. But within the Mass, there are certain liberties that he may take, the petitions being one of them. Sometimes I choose not to pray the petitions. And sometimes that means that I don't mention the intention of the Mass. I simply want you to be assured that when you call to set aside an intention for Mass, it is always my intention, personal intention, to offer the Mass for whatever the intention of the day is. Granted, it's helpful when we get to hear the name. It helps us to remember, and especially other people in the community, that it's being offered for that person. Indeed. However, just know that even when it's not, I'm still offering the Mass for that intention. I look forward to seeing many of you guys very soon, Guadalupanos. Please pray for me. And my email's at the bottom of this video if you have any questions. God bless.